Okay, hello everyone. I am just going to talk while I get things situated here. Welcome back to Change Stars Records of Miqto. It's been a while. We were sick and overworked and on vacation, and there were other things going on, but it's about time that we got back into it. It's good. And it's good to be back, and I'm so happy to hear from all of you wonderful people. And I'm hoping you've all been good too. I am just stalling for time while I get the rest of the notifications out. And hopefully my neighbor will stop yelling very loudly, knowing full well that this is our streaming time. But it's fine. How are you all doing? Doing well. Jesus, it's been almost a month since we've played. Well, it's been over a month. Ha! Over a month. That's how time works. But we are back, and we've got some other things cooking. Some things that may be streamed, some things that may not be streamed. But if y'all want to see more of the stuff streamed, it might be something that'll work its way into the streams later on. But for now, it's just going to be the 3 games I feel like, or the 2 games, maybe 3. I don't know. We might have a Things from the Flood game coming back, but we haven't discussed streaming it, so we don't really know where that's going to be just yet. Anywho, I am going to take us over to the rest of the group so that we can get started, because I am excited to get back into this. So here we go. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. It's been over a month, and yeah, we spent some time catching up, but how are you all doing? It's been a while. I'm glad everybody's survived their illnesses and other various awful things that kept us from playing, myself included.
This will be a good test run to see if I'm actually fully recovered.
Yeah.
Can only just stop testing positive.
It's nice. I'm not sick anymore.
Yeah, not sick anymore. Well, wonderful. I'm glad. Let's knock out our character introductions, and then we'll jump into the game. I am, of course, Rendis of Party Wipe Games. I will be playing Rendis Larucio, the xenobiologist scientist character who apparently is helping keep things afloat by being the only one who can talk to the new species. Hooray.
I'm playing Douglas Dog Crowley. He is the party security specialist, retired Marine, and widower. He is absolutely worthless in both social situations, except as the thing that stands in the background as a looming threat in the event that negotiations go sour.
Hi, I am playing Byron Thule, the pilot, and apparently really good at trading things, but she says no.
No means yes to this society. It's fine.
Apparently no means more. I'm also a Nuclear 93.
And I am Shay, or Shay the Fae, on Twitch, here on Twitch, and Party Wipe Games. And I am the Dungeon Mistress, or the Dreamweaver, storyteller for this game. I'm playing everybody else, including the local aliens that you all have been getting to know. On that note, it's been a hot minute since we played, but last time you all had been making strides
Oh,
in.
before we hop into it, the
Yeah.
stream is a little bit quiet.
Quiet. Okay, I cranked it down just a bit because I was worried you guys were too loud. It might just be on my end. Dougler and Captain say something.
Meepity moop?
Something that is being said.
Oh,
And
okay.
Now Shay,
Hello, how are you? What's up?
how'd that sound?
Rin, you're quieter than everyone else is.
I'm quieter than everyone else's, which is weird because the mic is right in front of my face. Okay.
I have just
Better?
moved the mic in front of my face.
Better, 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 better. How do I sound? Do I sound better now? I'm using this to give you a chance to hear me.
Think you're sounding a bit better?
Okay, I'll just go with that. Why not? Go ahead and give us the recap and let's get started.
Yeah. So, last time you all had, as you all had been making some strides in,
Bless you.
bless you,
Thank you.
in, cataloging the language of these locals, a strange, very, very strange bioluminescent species that bears some resemblance to Thren and Thren. Thank you. Thren and human anatomy, but you picked up enough that there was, perhaps still is, some trouble.
Help?
Yeah, sorry.
Hold on,
What?
hold on.
What?
What? Something just announced a lot of loud noise. Oof. Okay. Something started playing noise and it was loud. Oof. Sorry, that was on my end probably, and anybody who just heard that. I don't know what that was, but it was YouTube. Sorry, YouTube was being weird. Please,
Darn it, YouTube.
please backtrack and start over.
Backtrack and start over. Okay. So
Thren and human physiology.
yeah. So you all had been for lack of a better term, mapping out an understanding of the local alien language here on this planet that you all had to come to visit it, picking up enough that there is perhaps some trouble going on between local populace, while your presence is not really known to the whole of the species. There seems to be some level of violence going on between different groups of them, as the primitive village you all had visited has indeed come under attack, and of course, being having technology that well enough outclasses them, we're able to fend off these intruders and rescue one that had been taken. Upon returning to the village, about an hour's walk away, you would have promptly discovered that yes, it was a diversion, and it was probably smart that you left some behind. as you are all met with the aftermath of a probably very swift conflict. There are some of this species that are wearing that same primitive armor that the attackers had, and you find the others of your group that you had left behind for security are there as well, and now the locals are keeping a wide berth away from them as the area is being cleaned up. A couple things you all would notice is maybe you all would notice that a lot of that at least with the way the village is set up, it looks like the attackers were trying to get to a central building here, one that you all have yet to learn its purpose. Additionally, while the village is being cleaned up, Douglas, Dog, Crowley, you would see one of your own, the two that you had left behind to defend, are off to the side. There are people avoiding them, and Dr. Indus, you would see that the unconscious one that you all had rescued is being taken to another building, while you all would also notice that the two you had ended up capturing alive are taken to another structure separate from that. I apologize, I'm getting back into my stride.
No worries, that was great.
Should we check in with our people first and find out what happened?
I think that'd be best. Then see the elder.
Yes, we should have an idea of the situation before we bring ourselves before them.
John, you're muted if you're talking.
Things. Thank you. I muted myself because loud noises were occurring outside. But yeah, and dog goes up to his security team is like, all right, report.
As you approach them, you see both Chuck the Synth and the other gentleman you left behind, who appears to have I wouldn't say a wound, but he's fiddling with what appears to be a very simplified needle-like projectile that with a bit of a tear in the fabric of the clothing. Fortunately, he's got better armor than would be than what these locals have. But the synth turns to you and says, and remind me, Douglas is a captain or commander?
Corporal.
Corporal, thank you. It has been a while.
He's retired. He'd probably, given that this is technically a civilian outfit, he'd probably be something like a watch sergeant or a security team sergeant, given that there's not a corporal equivalent in most civilian security outfits.
He'll address you by your by the title you've earned. But the synth turns to you and says, Corporal, your assumption was correct. Shortly after you left, this village was preyed upon by individuals of their same species.
Understood. Any other... What kind of numbers were we talking? Details of the attack? Anything either of you noticed?
This village is relatively small compared to what we would consider an urban hub. However, there were a couple dozen of these intruders. Their bodies are being removed now.
All right.
The locals seem a bit alarmed by our assistance and have not approached us since.
Not terribly surprising. We do, after all, have boomsticks. Well?
An adequate observation, sir. Additionally, I have taken note that the intruders were attempting to target a specific structure here.
Yes?
For what purpose?
Unknown.
And which structure is this?
The synth gestures closer towards the center of the village. It's a little bit of a larger building here. That looks like it has a couple levels to it. It's much like a lot of these the other structures here. It is solid stone with no windows on any lower part of it. There is fabric extending from it to other nearby buildings, and and if you were to get a better look at the structure itself, there are a few guards outside that building. It's one that we have been kept from viewing during our time here.
How strange.
Doc, do you have any thoughts?
Well, if it is important to them and important to their enemies, it might be something we should... I will be honest, my curiosity makes me want to find out what it is, but I feel as though it would cause an incident if we do not respect their privacy.
Yeah.
Or if they are willing to show us, that is a different matter. We could find out what their enemies are so keen on taking from them.
That'll probably be up to you.
We might even be able to offer helping secure the area for them, at least in such a way as they would not be worried about it. It would be advantageous for us. We could ingratiate ourselves with them.
Helping keep it safe would be good.
Well,
I will do my best.
alright. I'm gonna send a report back on this incident back to the ship. You do what you can. So essentially, long-range radio. Sends a report back to the ship. Warning back to the shuttle crew that there are hostiles among the locals. And, double check security of their perimeter. Basically, he summarizes the incident to the captain. What we know. Checks if there's any further guidance or orders going forth.
They confirm that your message is sent and ask if you require any immediate evacuation or any additional supplies or anything that can help.
Immediate evacuation is not necessary, but if a small medical team could be sent down, that might A, help ingratiate us with the locals, and B, make sure that our own team makes it through in one piece.
Affirmative. There's another moment before another response comes in. We also have some more information with our studies of this system. We'll send the report. We'll send our reports now.
Thank you.
It's mostly just a sharing of information, but some more knowledge on the system and certain planets itself. The planet you are on currently has a little bit less land mass in comparison to what Earth's might be. It has 3 moons, and change in weather patterns can potentially be very drastic and dangerous.
Oh, the other thing that it occurs to Dog to request is, could you send down some lights where we can change the settings on the colors?
Oh, yes.
We can do so.
That will help facilitate communications with the locals.
There is also a report that probably will interest you. Some scans do indicate that there is a text signature coming from the first planet in this system, in this star system.
Well, the locals did alert us that there was a presence of not the locals, the pirates did alert us that there was presence of, and my brain has forgotten the words. Dog would remember it though.
Empire.
Yeah, Imperial Remnant.
Yeah. It's the text. Excuse me. The text signature is small but well concentrated, and judging by the material you have seen, which, by the way, they have an update on that as well. It is likely a mining outpost. The material is, and I think it has a certain name, but it is a very condensed series of alloys mixed together. Let me.
A composite.
A composite. It's a very dense composite, but the interesting part about it is its structure is extremely well suited for construction of very durable and long-lasting vessels,
Ah,
or just anything in general, if you had the capability of molding it.
well, that's, well, good news is the stuff's in the system. Bad news is probably in the hands of people who don't like us. At least there's the contingent already on their way to help secure the system, given the presence of these remnants. So, damn, strategic level decisions or anything about that's not really my area of expertise.
Not really my place to make a judgment call on either.
Just keep in mind that should their people show up before ours, we may need to make a hasty retreat.
That is understood.
We are here to help the populace, but not at the expense of our own lives.
And of course, there is a little bit of information on the fourth planet, if I remember correctly. The one that the pirates said they had set up their own little outpost. It has, of course, a almost no tilt on its axis, and it is barely in the Goldilocks zone of this star system, to the point that its rotation has created a ring around its equator that is habitable. The rest is covered in ice. And when I say habitable, I mean barely habitable. You would need equipment to survive there.
Mostly.
In my head, I'm just kind of picturing like a giant ass canyon going all around the belt of the planet, the equator of the planet.
Yes, that would be where the most habitable area would. It's the most direct source of starlight there.
On that note, is there anything you all want to do, or would you like to do a small time skip?
We needed to talk to the chiefess.
That is correct. So, as you all are discussing this, there is a little bit of time that passes before you notice that the older of the species, or the older of the elder of this village, doesn't approach, but steps out so that she's in clear view, with two warriors flanking her.
Well, I am sure this will be a riveting conversation. It's always so interesting to speak to them. Rendus will approach very slowly and diplomatically, still trying to figure out if they're pissed at us for some reason.
Go ahead and give me an insight.
I will insight this with all of my knowledge. There it is. I was not remembering where stuff was. Haha. That is... Oh, I have to turn... visible. That is a 1 and a 6, as per the usual.
Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead and roll me a d.
I scream loudly into the void. Just gotta get that bit going again. 5.
I'm gonna laugh it is that one.
I think that's a 6.
I thought screaming loudly into the void was a 1 or a 2.
Oh, maybe it was. I know it was one of the ends.
Yeah, I think that 5 or 6 was one of those was dropping something, and the other was like losing your swift action or something.
Just falls flat on her face in front of the chiefess.
Yeah, just.
It's got the whoopee cushion sound and everything.
God,
Nothing so much. It's just light stammering. It's the language barrier you're getting past. But she seems to be you're inciting, not communicating.
I'm trying.
Nothing happens. It doesn't work for this.
Trying to get a read of her.
Yeah, you watch as you approach diplomatically. They don't seem upset or angry. They seem cautious, more than they were before. And while she steps forward, the two warriors seem intent on not leaving her. They're not holding their weapons threateningly. It's more
They are her protection.
yeah. They've got their hands rested on their weapons, not drawn or brandished. But when you approach, there is a flicker of red in her sail as she acknowledges you. And when she speaks, when she speaks with the combination of the color, you pick up that she is asking who, or probably more accurately, what are you?
Oh, this is a very interesting way to about such an explanation. I am human, is what my species is referred to. My associate, gesture to dog, is also a human. He would be the counterpart to my species' reproduction. Whereas my designation would be female, his would be male. She goes into a very long and intricate explanation of how male and female anatomy works for a second, and then remembers that that's probably not what she meant, and then she goes, our other associate is a Threen. They are another species of the Trinity, and she will do all of this through the interpretive dance and various color cards.
Okay, now give me a communication.
Yeah, to try and convey all of these complex ideas.
I'm just sitting there, interpretive dance of explaining how male-female reproduction works.
There's a lot of hand gestures.
A 70s jazz band just to play in the background somehow.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why I closed my sheet, but here we go. Let's get this going again.
Just.
Oh, hey, look at that. apparently,
Oh.
apparently her diagrams are very thorough.
Okay. So
Oh.
she's picking up on your explaining, and she's paying attention as best she can. Again, these are complex answers. So while she might not understand the intricacies, she is getting a better idea of what you are. And with your previous insight, you can guess that she has perhaps a million questions. But before she says anything else, or before asking anything else, she first asks, "Why are you here?" And it's a question that seems to be asking, are you a danger to us? Do we need to be worried? Because they saw those weapons.
Just would probably chuckle and just kind of like to Dog be like, we are, as I said, we are human. We are mostly harmless.
He doesn't understand a word of that, but if he did, there'd be an arched eyebrow.
Yeah.
Harmless, no. Intent to be friendly, yes.
That's just a reference that I am proud of making.
Oh.
It's, you know, in the guide, the human intrigue just says mostly harmless. It's the best way to describe humans. We're not always bad people, but we're mostly harmless. Anyways, yeah, she says mostly harmless, and then realizes that probably doesn't suffice for an answer, and she gestures and indicates what she very quickly picked up on as we're friends, and basically says she would try her best to explain that the big metal skybird brought them from outside of this area, and they are here as people who want to learn and understand.
Explorers.
Yeah, we are explorers and knowledge keepers.
And with your communication role, it's enough to assure her that they are in no immediate danger, because while the warriors here are probably more than willing to defend their home, she has a experienced look of what I saw probably tells me that just a few of you can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But she seems to relax a bit at the gesture of "we're here to be friends and learn." And so with that, she welcomes you back to the building before another one of her own comes up and seems to speak a little quieter. You see her sail flickering between purple and red a few times before she turns to you again and says, "There is a storm coming."
How long will the storm last? And is it something we should return to our ship for?
Homes made to stand in storms. and she points to the river there, and kind of makes a gesture of it moving over the buildings. And you have an idea now that there's a reason that there are like no openings or anything at the in a lot of them.
I thought it was fortifications. I guess it must be flooding. Okay.
That makes sense. They're half aquatic race. They appear to be.
You've with your time in the village, you have seen them very easily traversing the waters, usually for like various aquatic foods.
Well, as they say, when in old Rome, do as the old Romans do.
Fire leads over to Dog. What's a Rome?
And he's ancient Earth civilization, part of many phrases that we use because they were pretty much globally significant.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah. Pretty much every culture has some reference to them on Earth, or had.
Not actually, but the idea of them lived on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the ideas, like establishing good infrastructure, nice. Other ones, slavery, bad.
Yes.
Slavery, very bad. Yeah.
So they're kind of a mixed bag.
The
That's it, right?
Vanatorium came back in swinging fashion a few hundred years ago, but outside of that, it's
I mean, to be honest, there's no such thing as a human culture that isn't a mixed bag.
as I said, mostly harmless.
All right.
And with that, over the next few hours. Oh, I also forgot to mention that the planet you are currently on has a closer to a 30-hour cycle, day-night cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So much extra nap time.
So much extra nap time.
Oh, Fire is going to radio the shuttle and tell them to get ready for quite the storm and make sure that nothing's going to get damaged by it.
Copy that. But yeah, over the next 4 hours, you all would notice that the bodies of the attackers are rounded up. Usable equipment is gathered and taken, and the bodies are properly disposed of. You see the various animals that they have kind of pinned up are led inside one of the taller buildings that they can comfortably rest in. And after some time, there is there is a delivery of materials that is able to be dropped down to your location or nearby enough that you can collect various light materials in your efforts to communicate. And on that note, I will go ahead and say that you have enough rudimentary communication that you can start implementing it into the universal translators that the Trinity uses. As the sun begins to set here, you notice there's quite a bit of activity during the twilight hour as everyone seems to be preparing for things. There's still a little bit of space that is given to you just from general populace being uncertain. But the elder of this place seems to be going around and reassuring everyone. And after a moment, or after some time, close to the evening, Rindus, you're approached again as you seem to be acting leader of this group, or at least the one who's communicating. And she says, "You helped us."
As best we could, yes.
Do you seek giving one of your own?
I am going to roll to comprehend what that means, because I know what Rindus thinks that means, but... Insight. What is that? Fuck.
You have no idea. Would you like to push?
Yeah, because if she starts taking her clothes off, it's going to cause an incident. I will push. That's just marking an edge, right?
Yes.
Mark an edge. Yep.
And here we go. Meow.
Okay. She is, she seems to be asking if you... She seems to be asking if you wanted a very specific reward for your people. One of your people. So... You appearing to be the leader, she seems to be asking which of you, yourself included, would like that reward.
Let's see. Dog did all the heavy lifting. Would probably help him loosen up. She still thinks it means something entirely different than what they're probably offering.
It might.
That's fine. She's going to say, I feel as though the warriors should be rewarded for their bravery. So, Douglas, if you would, please. She is offering a reward for you and your associates. I think mostly you, though, for your bravery. I would not turn it down, as it may cause an incident.
Understood.
I'm sure it will be fine.
Okay. The
Could be something really good.
It could be something very good.
he steps forward, nods. Oh, one sec, my entire right leg just crapped.
Yikes.
Ow, shit.
Please don't die.
So-
that hurt. That hurt a lot. Okay. I'm good now.
So she looks she kind of studies you uh she kind of studies you, dog, kind of like tilting her head and kind of getting an idea. You're still a strange species to her, and then she looks to Dr. LaRusso again and asks, "Male?"
Just behind Dog, she's just gonna give double thumbs up. Like, oui, he is in fact 100%.
She looks to her warriors and says something, and one of them goes off. Douglas, the one you had fought alongside before, uh, gives a nod and points to some of her own, and three of the warriors of the species approach you and surround you and begin ushering you off.
Okay. He goes as they tell him, basically.
When you are taken into a building on your own, they do seem a little bit more friendly now. Some of them do seem to be talking, and a communicator hasn't quite been updated with this information, or with the information of their language, so you don't quite know everything that they are saying. Would you like to make an insight?
Yeah, sure. We'll make an insight. What little of it he has.
Hey, roll a d6.
And okay. That's the stammering one, isn't it?
Yeah, choking up, unable to speak, only sputtering. But you get enough of an idea that, one, they are interested in your weapon.
Okay.
Two, they are interested in you.
Okay.
And they are setting aside their weapons and removing their armor.
Show them how the boomstick works.
Oh no. Alright, so he's sitting there, it's like, okay, they're interested in his weapon. They're setting aside their weapons, so does he set aside he sets aside his weapon, looks at response. Is that the desired response?
It appears to be so.
Okay.
Once their armor is off, they start removing the rest.
Oh. Okay! Well, it's been a while. It's been a while since Dog's been in this situation. And by a while, I mean, at least with three pretty women removing their clothes around him. He just pulls his own armor off. It's fairly effective. Just fairly quick to remove because he's just got the ballistic vest.
When they get a better look at what human anatomy is like, it looks like one of them starts to try and descend upon you before the one that seemed to be in charge kind of grabs her and shoves her back, seeming to claim first dibs on you.
Okay. Well,
You say get in line.
So get in line. Okay. This is...
They quickly become very aggressive, though.
Okay.
And that will be a fade to black.
I just asking the question. Okay, this is not Dog's first time with more than one partner. Just used a 100 to establish that question.
Had some worldly experience.
Yeah, he's had some worldly experience before he got married and settled down, and
Surely being what it is.
Yeah, surely being what it is. He's a it's a pretty good idea of what he knows. I'd say he has a pretty good idea, knows what he's doing. So yeah.
And
That's-
yeah, and you are able to enjoy this evening, perhaps gaining satisfaction and giving satisfaction to these three women here.
Okay. He is going to use the full of his services worth of stamina to ensure they all have a good time.
And as far as Bayer and Rindus go, was there anything else you wanted to do or achieve?
Nope. I'm gonna find. Rindus is gonna find a place to bunker down for the night if this storm is coming through.
Easy enough. Going as over the next day or so, the storm does come in. The tides of the river come up fairly substantially. With 3 moons, it seems to have a much wider range of tides. But as the rainstorm kind of goes on, you're able to get a sense, even at least from the higher buildings there to the rooftops of even the smaller ones. The fabric that had been used for shade also appears to be usable as bridges for this species, since they can just kind of cling to the fabric and climb across without risk of getting swept away by the stronger currents. But even so, some seem to brave the water relatively easily. You are able to fashion and update the communicators as you see fit, so that you all are capable of understanding their language to an extent. There is a moment where I would like Rindus and Bayer to give me a scrutiny.
You're gonna screw so good during this storm. Have any edge gone down in the couple days?
Yeah, you can drop your edge down.
How much?
Okay.
Go ahead and drop it down by 2.
All right, I sure will. Screwed. Hey,
I'm a push.
Yeah, roll me a d6.
4. If that is a tripping one, Bayer does want to go swimming in one of the weaker of these currents.
I also see that these are just examples. So
you don't always
yeah.
have to scream into the void. It's true.
Yeah. So, both of you would notice that the 2 pirates you had with you, while not avoiding you, have been keeping a little more distance. As for you, Bayer, you're able to catch the 2 of them out on one of the roofs during this rainstorm in an overhang, and the 2 of them seem to just be talking or maybe arguing. You're able to pick up that. You really shouldn't let your feelings get in the way, I don't think our captain would approve. You know she's going to be calling in soon for both of us. And the other replies, I know it's not going to be a problem. I just think we can go about it a very better way. And the response there is, well, if you think that she'll listen, then by all means. And then there's, then as you're kind of picking this up, you do trip and you fall, and there is a splash. Go ahead and give me a... Shoot, what would this be? This would be...
Maneuver?
Yes. Oh, okay. Roll me a d6. Okay, that checks out. So, as the rain is coming down and you kind of fall into the water, the river here, while you're not like new to swimming or anything, you are caught off guard and kind of turned head over heels. You lose more movement and are not able to pull yourself out of the water. You do catch that there is a flicker of a few bioluminescent lights, and see that there are some of these species kind of swimming along the bottom, kind of going after any aquatic meat that has been brought up from the recent rainings. But after a moment passes, you see a familiar face poke over the side. You see Rishi, and she kind of stares down at you and says, "Do you need some help?"
Yes,
They
please.
stare down at you, and they reach down to grab a hold of you and start to pull, and says, "I'm sorry, I'm not very strong," and then look back and they call, "Thomas, grab my legs and pull." And a moment later, you are hoisted out of the river.
Okay. I wanted to go for a swim, but not like that.
Rishi
Thank you.
kind of pats your back. Well, don't suppose you brought a change of clothes out here, did you?
I'm gonna say probably not, so... nope. I'm
Wow.
soaked through.
You know what this means? It's the perfect opportunity to try on some of the local wear.
Clothing montage.
You are right. Actually, it is a good time to try that.
And they hook an arm in yours and start walking with you. And they point to another building there and says, "I think that one is for textiles."
Well, let's hit on in.
And so they walk with you to this other building. You do have to balance a little bit. Go ahead and give me another maneuver, because you don't quite have claws, and these bridges were designed for for a specific species.
God
All right,
damn
you're
it.
fine. You're fine. But just in case, roll me a d6.
Good. However, let's see if you're not.
Just the you're fine, but roll.
Yeah, you're fine. You're able to make it across just fine, and there's what appears to be an overhang with a hatch that leads down. And you're able to go down, and sure enough, there is a cozy interior, um, and one of these species kind of perks up, her sail extending, and with the communicators here, at least to some capacity, she says, "Star children."
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I was hoping I might be able to try on some clothes. I had a bit of a slip into the water, and this stuff doesn't quite dry well.
Star children are trading, and she seems to understand, and starts going through some of the clothing here, which appear to be a lot of silks, and she looks to you and says, "Trading of what?"
Okay, that I'm not sure. Oh. I could trade my lantern. If I were to take out their lantern and actually show this off, or show it off, they're just
She
it
is
can create
fascinated
light
by
without
it.
fire.
She
Just
is
gonna-
absolutely fascinated by it.
I'll give them a little tutorial on how it works, like how to change the brightness, how to just the bog standard how it works.
And sure enough, you are able to exchange this for one of their finest outfits. What does this outfit look like?
I'm not too sure what their clothing in general looks like. We've just mostly seen their armor. Wait a sec.
So the clothing here is, it appears to be like woven silks, but because of the way their bodies are designed, or woven silks with metal, like metal bands that appear to attach to the arms or perhaps the shoulders. Your anatomy being a little different, you probably can't wear the little the little ridge rings that they have for their sails, but because they have the sails, they tend to keep their backs opened, unless it's armor, in which case it has to be very specialized. But a lot of the fabric here is very lightweight, very soft, and it seems to be woven and attached to these various metal bands that seem to that you can wrap around your shoulders or your arms or around the hips, but usually enough to leave their sails able to extend. So basically what I'm saying is the clothing here comes with jewelry. Still here?
I forgot I was a push talk. So, the color of the jewelry bar would go with something like a silvery color, so it would match their blue skin. And think of a contrasting color for the fabric of it.
And you're able to do so. The or you're able to find such a outfit for yourself. You are also shown how to gird it in case you needed to go swimming.
Gird those loins.
Gird those loins. That way it doesn't drag. And while this is going on, Rishi picks out a bright blue to contrast with her red skin, and trades a tool of her own, little multi-tool. And this trader seems very pleased that they got these weird items from beyond her home. Fine clothing. You like? Yeah.
Yes, it's quite exquisite.
Made from finest worms.
So, like the worms themselves, or what the worms make?
Yes.
Fire processes for a moment. It's like humans do weird things. In their mind, they're saying that, not aloud.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that's true.
And you more or less have a fine Miqto outfit that you may add to your inventory. Rishi approaches you again and says, "Well, now we're absolutely going to fit in with the locals here."
So I guess it's a good thing I didn't fall in the water.
Oh, I suppose it is. And I just love how revealing it is in some places. And as she walks behind you, she traces a finger up your exposed spine. Or if they trace a finger.
Oh, it is quite exquisite how it holds and hides and accentuates.
Well, why don't we spend the day showing off these new outfits and then close it out with a little quality time?
I think that'd be a fine way to spend the day.
And she gives a nod, hooking an arm in yours again, and begins leading you off again, leaving the trader here to fascinate over these new items. You see the torch being flicked on and off, on and off. Rindis, as you're with these new communicators kind of set up, there's you're able to sit and communicate with the elder here, and learn a little bit more. Is there anything you'd like to ask?
She is going to be asking so many questions. In fact, she is eager to learn everything this woman is willing to entertain her dumb questions with. She wants to know everything about the species. She may have been peeping on the early interactions with Douglas before giving him some privacy, but she says, I noticed that your species are aware of what males are, but I have yet to see one. Do you have males of your species, or is there something more for me to discover?
There's a a glance between her guards that seems to make them a little nervous. Not aggressive or anything, just cautious. But she kind of gives a nod and says, yes, none like yours. No warriors.
Oh, fascinating. They are,
Consorts.
oh, how curious. It is extremely different from what we are used to. There is some examples of this within the Trinity, but it's largely an optional choice. Very curious that they are all consorts.
How is it optional? Are there many males where you're from?
She will explain that I'm sure the human ratio will probably remain largely unchanged several hundred years in the future, so she'll explain that it's largely a 50-50 split, but it's more of 54-46. It's it's not quite even, but there are a good number of males, and for a long time it was a patriarchal society for humans.
This concept seems very odd to them, which might explain why she looked at Douglas so strangely. But she replies, for every male that is born to us, there are 10 females.
Lucky him, I suppose.
A tribe without a male is very shunned here.
So you keep your males very well guarded.
Yes.
Interesting.
Your tribe has defended them.
There's that moment of understanding very clear on her face, and she says, "Oh, I see."
If another tribe claims them, then we are at risk.
Yes, you would not have more breeding stock to keep your tribe afloat, as it were.
Yes. Males are very best here.
I can see why.
She stands and and says, "You have helped. Would you like to meet them?" And immediately when she says that, her two guards become very alert.
I'm gonna go ahead and incite that too. Am I in danger if I say yes and or no?
You're not in danger, but the offer she is making is kind of
Unheard of.
it's very double-edged. Not quite unheard of, but it's double-edged in the fact that one, she's introducing the possibility of danger to very valuable members of her society, and that's why the guards are now very on alert.
It's fine. Rindis isn't dangerous. She doesn't even know how to work a gun.
Yeah. However, the offer you pick up that the offer she is making is also not unheard of, and perhaps the same reason that the three female warriors were all too eager to lay with Douglas probably means that
They haven't had any fun in a while either.
well, there's that. There's also the possibility that she may or may not be interested in having her tribe expand.
It all just kind of falls into place, and she says, "Absolutely."
And just to sit. You are brought to. But go ahead and give me a maneuver, by the way, to traverse these fabric bridges.
Oh, fun. I'm good at that, probably. Okay, apparently.
Hey, you make it.
fine.
So you make it easy enough to a building kind of set aside. It is a bit larger and has several stories to it. But there are a few warriors inside, and as you enter, there is there are a number of the there are a number of guards here, but as you're speaking to her, she says, because they are so valuable, each male is provided a number of females to keep them safe.
How lucky for them.
When we unite with other tribes, it is often customary to offer an exchange to allow our species to continue.
Yes, you do not want to dilute the gene pool by only mixing with your tribe. I understand, yes. A fairly common practice.
But once inside, the two guards around her kind of like set up a flank, and she calls out, and there are wouldn't quite call them. There's like little sliding entrances that are pulled aside, and there are a couple females that are not dressed, looked like they were occupied, and there's a gesture to allow you to enter.
Hello. I hope I am not interrupting too much.
And when you do, you see indeed that there are some males of this species, with a couple differences. They are a little bit shorter, so whereas human males tend to be taller and more stocky, it seems to be the opposite for these. Kind of like how female drow are more muscled. But the major difference you see is that their scales do not give off color. Or not as much color. It's just a very light blue-white.
Oh, curious. She probably has her like data pad out, and she is notating quite a bit. She wants to keep all of this documented, and she says, "Is it all right if I speak with him and study?"
She looks at them and then calls one of them up, and one of them slides off a. One thing you would also take note of is that they appear to have a very comfortable living. But they slide off of a very cushioned seat and approach. It's the elder kind of looks back to you and says, "Yes, please do."
I would like to imagine she has like a couple of little like recordy drones, so she is just going to put those out for all the angles, and it's just going to say, "What is not allowed?" I do not want to offend.
No harm to them.
Oh, of course not. I would never. But is it okay if I examine?
Yes.
She's gonna do the like full physical study. She is going to measure, weigh, feel skin, touch, get the full range of xenobiology, and she is doing her best to not fall into her baser practices, but she is keeping it professional for now.
As you perform your examination and learn the physical differences of the species, there is. Go ahead and give me an insight.
Insight the shit out of this. Let's go. Insight. That's one.
The females are also observing you, and in some cases, you see that, or you pick up that they are kind of expecting a exchange.
Oh, she's getting there. She's just behaving herself right now.
Yep, I figured.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, they also seem interested in your physiology.
And she says,
and your screaming hair.
Yeah. She says, "Okay, well, I have everything I need for my base analysis, and now we get to the best part." And she will hit the record button, and then she will proceed to do her Kirk doctrine studies and continue to work towards her Nobel Prize.
And as it fades to black, there is you are, by the end of it, you are proud to say that this species is compatible and will not kill you.
That's good.
Their blood is not acid.
Their blood is not acid. Well, it's not the blood I was worried about, but all right, it's not acid.
Their genitals don't have teeth.
That's the important one. Cool.
The thing you always have to ask.
Yeah. Do your genitals have teeth? It's important. It's important.
And Douglas, you're able to wake up the next day surrounded by the three female warriors entangled up with them.
All right.
How badly scratched up and bruised is he?
A little scratched up. They tried biting a few times.
Well,
And while you would not know, once you speak with Dr. Rindis again, she could probably tell you that you are probably the stockiest male they've ever seen.
aha.
Oh, I see the cultural exchange went well.
Dog. He nods. There's a little smile.
Very good. I am so happy to hear that. This will go quite a ways in making sure our relationship with the tribe stays strong.
Okay.
But of course,
Yeah.
understands that you always have the ability to give consent. If you did not want to do any of this, it would not have been detrimental that much to our mission. I could have probably found anybody else who would have been more than willing if you were not. I know it means nothing telling you that now, but just know you has the options. You always have the option.
It's been a while. It was about time, I suppose. He's, just a little. I have no way of communicating the gesture where it's like the one where you like if he wore suspenders, it would be grabbing the suspenders and lifting up. But in this case, it's a ballistic vest.
Yeah. Well, I am happy to hear. I have no doubts that Briar also had a fruitful night. It seems like they never have too much trouble with that. And then, as if right on cue,
I'm sorry, I didn't pick up that last part.
oh, I made a joke as if right on cue, then Briar walks in.
And Briar walks in.
Oh, I know what I'm about. Is it just the three of us in this room?
There usually seems to be at least one of their warriors kind of keeping an eye on you, even if from a distance. But
Okay.
for all things considered, you have privacy.
So I was gonna be extra careful. Actually, just take out their communication pad, the comm box thing,
Mhm.
and they're gonna type out in it. So I overheard something when. Oh, I overheard. Crap! I forgot names.
Excuse me.
Gesundheit.
Quick interruption, just because it's relevant. Our good friend Lee is finalizing the Change Star credits.
Woo.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah. Do we want Party Wipe Games to appear under the playtesting header, or would we like to do individual players to appear by name?
So, traditionally, the way that we would be credited would be Party Wipe Games, tab, each of our names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how
like
you just like it would show up in like a lot of the larger studios or other things. If you outsourced your testing, it would show up as the studio your testing was outsourced to. And since Party Wipe Games would in this case count functionally as a studio,
We are
It would-
LLC. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
it would be It would be the LLC named Party Wipe Games, and then each of the names of the people involved who did the testing under that would be the typical way of crediting us.
Okay. Lee, if you are still hearing, just get in contact with me and I will provide the Party Life Games information, and then each of us, though I think you have all of our contact details too, so I would just go with Captain's recommendation of tested by Party Wipe Games, and then each of us individually. That works for me.
Yeah, works for me too.
And back to the game. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's good details.
That is
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Dougler, what were you asking before?
The names.
I forgot the names, but I found them. So Byers typing out that they overheard Thomas and Rishi talking yesterday, and they seem to be having disagreement about doing something. And Thomas seemed wanted to do it in a different way that might be better for us. I don't know what they wanted to do, but he was going to ask Brunhilde about it. Oh, and Byra is also wearing the new clothes as well.
You see, Buyer is dressed in a very fine silk outfit, and judging by the metal bands that seem to hook around the waist and the arms and upper shoulders, with the back exposed, it seems to be of local make.
Okay.
So you had a good night as well, I see.
I would say I did. Though I did take an accidental swim beforehand.
That outfit does have some very nice ease of access.
Rindis is admiring it professionally. Always professionally.
With Rindis, the line between professional and the alternative is non-existent.
I know what I said.
Professional sexologist.
Yeah, she is a professional xenobiologist. She has studied the thread quite extensively.
And it appears that she wants to study it more.
Yeah, she never opposed to more studies. It's an intellectual pursuit.
Yep, mixing business and pleasure, are we?
Hey, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
There are a million ways to make a pun out of that in the context.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So you think there's a cause for concern with
I think at the very least there's a cause to keep an eye out.
all
I
right.
think your friendship with Thomas is quite fortunate for us, this dog.
Oh. It's definitely nothing to do with the friendship you have sprouted out.
Hmm.
Maybe a bit, but it is what we do.
We will have to continue to make sure we are not upsetting them. Remember, they have the distinct advantage of numbers here. If things do go bad.
They certainly do.
Yeah, let me show y'all. Here we go. Can you all see?
Yeah, I can see that.
So this here is an Orchid class ship. It's the science vessel that you all had arrived in. It is about a kilometer or so long. This one here is an entirely new class of vessel that the pirates were using. It looks like it was custom crafted, more or less. At least it's not in any Trinity design, and appears to be and is about that one's a couple to a few kilometer long. The other one, don't worry about that.
I don't like that you said that.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
It's
don't worry
fine.
about it.
Okay. I will put those guns at It always worries me.
Oh, I'd love to. Haven't seen anything like that, so that doesn't exist.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. It's not real.
It's not real. Also, this is the planet that you are on currently.
Ooh, more art.
Art, yay.
Words.
And then the one down here is the other barely habitable planet.
Okay. Sorry, I have to use the bathroom real quick. I
That's
will be
fine.
right back.
Sure. And I will gradually add as things go.
I'll stand right up to the can real quick.
Well, all right then.
Why don't we just take a short break?
We can do that.
All right, well, stick around, everybody. We'll be right back. We're going to take a short break. Okie day. I'm back. We have foods. And I'm very curious how it tastes because it smells so good.
What kind of foods?
Sauerkraut and sausage.
Ooh hoo hoo.
Mhm.
Ooh, nice.
God,
We don't have any beer to go with it, but
man, I could go for some sauerkraut and sausage.
I'm not disappointed. It's good. nice, crisped up kielbasa. Shit ton of mustard.
I'm not a fan of mustard.
I'm a huge fan of mustard, especially good German mustard.
Oh yeah, it
Well-
takes a good kind of mustard.
Yeah. Standard yellow mustard is really for hamburgers, hot dogs, and not much else.
Which is unfortunately all we had. I didn't have any brown mustard.
Or stone ground, or
Mm-hmm.
any of the other fancy mustards.
I
I have-
have Dijon, but Dijon wouldn't go well with this.
Yeah, no, Dijon would overpower kielbasa. I'm admittedly used to pairing my sausage when I'm doing my German foods tends to be a knackwurst or a bratwurst, one of the many different themes of bratwurst. One thing I learned when I visited Germany is every town in Germany thinks they have the right bratwurst, and they're all different and they're all delicious, and you just get to go around as they're, putting all this effort into making, we have the right bratwurst.
Our bratwurst is the best, and you're like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to try another one to be certain.
Yep, I gotta try it all, or how else will we ever know, right?
It's a tough competition, but if you keep the bratwurst coming, I might be able to reach a conclusion soon.
That's pretty darn close to, yeah, that's about it.
All right. Before we jump back into it, I'm talking to Lee for the credits. He says some people just do their handles without putting the real name information in there. If you guys just want the handles, let me know and I'll get that to him, or I can put both.
Can we do both?
It can be both.
I'm all for being both.
I'm big. Both works. I do want I like having my actual name attached.
Okay.
Yes, I could do both.
Just send it to me. That way I got it. Just Discord message me.
Alright, I'll just message you real quick. Dang it, I have too many Discord servers.
Mhm. And is yours Gem Shay or Shay Gem at this point? I don't even know, hon.
Should be Shay Gem. Wait, for
For your screen name or your handle.
oh, and
I'm just
Discord?
going with the Twitter ones.
oh,
If you use it or something to identify it. Whatever we're going on here. I'll just do Shay Gem. Keep it simple.
yeah, that's fine.
Alright, I'm gonna keep this consistent, so I'm gonna do real name and then handle. And got it. Alright. We haven't done any other playtests of it here, right, hon? Just
Not on our channel.
on theirs, which they'll
Yeah.
credit us there on their own. All right, so I'll just send that. That's the 4 of us for this game. Let's see, records. Miqto. There you go. That's out. We can continue.
Okie dokie. So you are gonna have a few more days of study here with these creatures. Is there anything specific you all would like to do?
Hydrate.
Okay.
Realistically, no. This is what she's here for. Ringis is going to be facilitating any other cultural exchanges with the rest of the Trinity groups that came down. She wants to make sure everything is documented, and she will probably be like, these are liability waivers and consent forms. If you are not comfortable with this being recorded for scientific purposes and only scientific purposes, you do not have to give your consent, of course. I will respect your privacy, but I may interview you afterwards without it being recorded. I can keep that information. What's the CC word? What's the word I'm blanking? The not off the record,
Confidential.
but anonymous. Yeah, confidential. I can keep the information confidential and anonymous. Otherwise, she is going to be in everybody's shit, watching, observing, participating.
And the locals gradually warm up a bit more. This is all very strange and new and potentially very helpful. During this exchange, you would receive, or they would bring down any medical teams to take care of any of the injured that had occurred in the recent scuffle. Sorry, blanking for a moment. The one that had previously been rescued is able to approach and thank you for your intervention. She would identify herself as the child to the elder being Siriaj. This is Sirlios. But she of course, being a bit younger, says, seems very full of questions, is asking, you said you came from the stars. Where are you from? What do you want here? Are you here to defend us from our from those who have abandoned the ways of Meek?
And who is she talking to specifically? Sorry.
Any one of you who would listen.
That is very complicated. We are explorers and scholars. We have a security force, but we are not here to fight your battles. I would not want to give you false hope in saying that we would not help if trouble happens while we are here, but no, we are not here to fight your battles for you.
I was hoping to. I was hoping to request more soldiers for protecting this place, our home. But I would have to request it of our queen. But you have weapons that spout fire. Perhaps we can use these.
Ooh, I am not qualified to speak on that. Unfortunately, I would not be able to even trade them with you. I would have to go through authorities much higher than mine. It may not be off the table in the future, but for now, I do not think I would be able to give you an answer on such a request.
You are some of the Star Children, but you do not know You do not know our attackers?
I am afraid I do not. Could you tell me more?
They come from faraway lands to dissolve us. They say we have grown weak. That our queen is not strong.
And you, as their child, do you believe this to be true?
No, but Queen's home is much more defended than our home. And she gestures to the village. The rain has kind of let up a little bit, but the waters have yet to recede.
Would this be something we should discuss with the Queen?
I could take you to meet her.
It would be wonderful to meet her and speak to a woman of such influence.
It is 2 weeks travel from here.
Well, if
You also have a ship.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, that's not really a problem. Y'all want to deviate on a field trip?
Well, it would still be part of our
It's still technically part of
within our
mission.
parameters.
We have not gone off course too far yet. What about you, Douglas? Are you willing to go meet royalty now?
Yes?
Wonderful. It seems we will escort you to where the queen is then, if your mother is okay with it.
I will convince her. I can speak to her now. She's always looking for what is best for our home here. And if your males and our males have given have brought children to our tribes, then we are all the stronger for it.
Hmm. If you are not certain, you all may have another pass if you so desire. Just kind of nudges Doug again. I have learned quite a bit about my crew these last few days.
Namely, that there are in fact things that could happen when Dog lets his hair down. It just hasn't been down. Not that there's that much of it to let down. Yes, he is. If it is freely offered, he is not going to be likely to say no.
So the same warrior and her entourage comes up. You would have learned her name as Miyoshi.
I would hope you at least learned her name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She seems to at least be the martial leader of this place and is more than happy to claim rights to other males. But before you have the chance to disembark, Rishi approaches alongside with Thomas kind of trailing behind and says, so I understand you all are going on a bit of exploration.
That would be true, yes.
I have a bit of a request to make. If you would be so inclined, three of you, our captain has extended another invitation to meet with her, and if the locals here expect you to be at their ruler's place of demons then in a couple weeks, and I think we have a little bit of time to spare, no?
Yes, it would seem so.
You would be correct.
Wonderful. And she looks back, or they look back to I keep doing that. They look back to Thomas and says, see, that wasn't so hard. And we get to spend a little more time with our friends.
It's gonna get an eyebrow raised at Thomas.
He'll approach you afterwards and say, so, quick question. How interested are you in
Oh no, do I have to break this man's heart?
No, maybe. How interested are you in sticking with the Trinity?
Oh. This is a very loaded question.
Look, I've got no place there, and it's fine if you are. But could use a doctor.
Well, you have to understand I have a very lucrative tenure waiting for me back at the Institute of Mars, and my research is on its way towards a Nobel Prize. I just do not think I could add being a pirate onto my resume just yet. It might take a very convincing offer.
All right. It's just I know by the time your people get here, things are gonna get tense.
Yes, I can imagine so. We will do our best to try and make it easier since our relationship has been so amicable.
Well, at least for now. Our captain just wanted you to take a look over some of the folks that you treated. Once that's done, we can drop you off right outside the wherever their queen is.
All right then. As I said, as long as it is long as it is not a true issue of going up to speak with them, it should not be so bad to make sure everybody is in tip-top shape.
Well, I don't expect it'll be anything bad. At least I haven't heard anything. I was just sitting here to make sure that you stayed in one piece.
It is very nice of you.
And he gets a nod. But Rishi looks up again, or Rishi approaches again and says, "Alright, I sent the call out. Our ride should be here in, 20 minutes or so." And in 20 minutes, the locals are all terrified of the big metal bird that flies down. On that note, I think the scene is going to change from here. The camera kind of zooms out over this planet, and we get a better view of the this this celestial body before the camera shifts, and we see it move closer to a smaller dot in this vast sea of space, and it moves closer to it. And we see a somewhat rocky world with cracks of red and glowing white hot, and with glowing white hot cracks and a few almost red molten oceans. And as it zooms in here, we see there is a facility here, one of human make, and this facility has a spinning device in the center of it, and as it moves in closer, it appears to be a laser drill, dredging up valuable materials, and we see a screen flicker as they're communicating with someone, or as a figure is communicating with someone very very well built, and says, "We should have enough material to finish before too long. However, my last report, I'm sure you've seen that we have some visitors. On the other end, there is, I understand. Don't do anything too hasty yet. We don't know what's coming, and I've already put the word out." And the other figure says, "Yes, very good, sir." And the screen flicks off, And this figure turns around, and we see that he's dressed in a very traditional military style, with a military cap with the insignia of the human empire on it. And as that symbol moves into the camera, we are going to call today's session.
Whew.
Great game, everybody. Good to be back.
Yeah.
It is good to be back, yes.
Well, wonderful. Thank you all for watching. Thank you again to Lee and the Change Stars folks for putting together such a wonderful game and giving us the ability to play test it. Its Kickstarter and backer kit are still up and running. They are nearing the completion of the books, and the books should be out soon. All of that other wonderful bookend information. Keep an eye out for Rindis in the book when it comes out, and all of that other good stuff that I need to cover before we wrap up. We will be back tomorrow for our other game that is currently being streamed, Brindlewood Bay. I remember names of titles. We will be back with Dougler running for Brindlewood Bay. So until next time, I don't really have anything else for us, so y'all have a great night, and we will see you soon.